Arsenal are back on top, 3 points clear and 4 games left. But City have five. That game in hand is still sitting there, waiting, like it always does with Guardiola. And this week, before Arsenal even think about their next Premier League game, they have to fly to Madrid to face Atletico in the Champions League semi-final. Arsenal fans have been here before, 3 times in 3 years. Always the same feeling, always the same ending. And the financial cost of what keeps happening to this club is something that nobody is talking about properly. Until now. Let's go through the timeline, because it's genuinely painful every single time. 2022-23, Arsenal led the league by 8 points in March. They'd been top since August, and fans were ordering title-winning merchandise before May. But Manchester City won the league. Arsenal finished second. Now, here's where it starts to get funny, or tragic, depending on who you support. After that collapse, the Arsenal fan base invented a phrase that has followed this club ever since. The process. Trust the process. Arteta has a plan, and the titles are coming. But the titles never came. 2023-24, Arsenal pushed all the way to the final day. They finished on 89 points, the second highest total in the club's entire history. 89 points. In any other Premier League season, that wins the league. But City got 91. Arsenal finished second. Again. 2024-25. Different year, same result. Runners up for the third consecutive season. And now this season, Arsenal build a 9-point lead, the biggest cushion of any of these title races. Fans are booking open-top bus routes. Then, Bournemouth at home, 2-1. Then, City away, 2-1. Back-to-back defeats, 9 points gone. City drew level on points, drew level on goal difference, and went top on goals scored alone. 66 goals to Arsenal's 63. 3 goals. That was the entire margin. Yesterday, Eze, 8 minutes. A thundering curling strike into the far corner. Arsenal beat Newcastle 1-0 and went back on top by 3 points. But while Arsenal were grinding out that win at the Emirates, City were at Wembley in an FA Cup semi-final against Championship side Southampton. They were losing 1-0 with 11 minutes to go. And then, as they always do, pulled it back. Doku in the 82nd minute and Nico Gonzalez in the 87th. City won 2-1. Coming from behind against the Championship side with 11 minutes left. That is the team that Arsenal are trying to hold off. And City still have that game in hand. Now, before we get into the money, we need to talk about something every football fan outside of Arsenal finds absolutely hilarious. Mikel Arteta's excuses. Because when Arsenal lose at inconvenient moments, and they have been losing at very inconvenient moments lately, the press conferences are something to behold. In 2020, Arsenal drew 0-0 at Burnley. Arteta blamed the grass. It was too long, apparently. Burnley had not watered the pitch. Their response? They changed their Twitter header image to a photo of uncut grass, and the internet had a field day. Then, in January 2025, Arsenal lost the Carabao Cup semi-final 2-0 to Newcastle. Arteta's explanation? The ball was different. The Carabao Cup ball flies differently. The grip is different. Very hard to adapt. The official Carabao Cup Twitter account responded by posting a picture of rapper 50 Cent. Because sometimes that's the only appropriate response. Arsenal had 23 shots that night, 3 on target. The ball was apparently very tricky. And just this season, knocked out of the FA Cup by Championship side Southampton, the quadruple dream Arsenal fans had started whispering about was over. At the quarter-final stage, against a team that had not been promoted from the Championship. The same Southampton that City then beat at Wembley yesterday when they were losing with 11 minutes to go. No excuses available for that one. Right, the fun stops here because the financial reality of what keeps happening to Arsenal is no joke at all. Last season, Liverpool won the Premier League. Arsenal finished second. Again. Liverpool's revenue was £702 million, a club record. Arsenal's revenue was £691 million, also a club record. The gap? £11 million, directly linked to one club being champions and one not. The direct prize money between first and second is roughly £3 million. It's small on its own, but winning the title does something to a football club that prize money cannot capture. When Liverpool won, sponsorships renewed at higher rates, merchandise surged, and global brand value jumped. Commercial partners pay more to be associated with champions than with nearly men. Arsenal have been the nearly team for 3 consecutive years, and in football, nearly does not sell shirts the way that winning does. Every year, Arsenal finish second instead of first, and that commercial gap compounds. It doesn't reset. Liverpool won the title last season and spent £450 million on players in the following summer. Arsenal spent significantly less, and they wonder why the gap keeps appearing. Winning is not just a trophy, it is the financial engine that funds the next attempt. But here is where the stakes become truly extraordinary. Because Arsenal are not just in the Premier League title race, they are also in the Champions League semi-finals against Atletico Madrid. First leg is in Madrid, and the second leg at the Emirates on May 5th. Arsenal have already earned £107 million from the Champions League this season, a club record for the third consecutive year. They won every single game in the league phase. They beat Bayer Leverkusen. They beat Sporting. The semi-final is worth €15 million. The final, €18.5 million more. And winning it, an extra €6.5 million. But the prize money is almost irrelevant compared to what winning the Champions League does commercially. Arsenal have never won it, not once in their entire history. If they win the Premier League and the Champions League this season, the financial transformation of this club will be extraordinary. Sponsorship deals, global brand value, transfer budgets, everything accelerates. But to do that, they need to beat Atletico Madrid while simultaneously watching City in the Premier League with a game in hand. The pressure on this squad right now is unlike anything Arsenal have ever faced. And City, for context, are already in the FA Cup final, they've already won the Carabao Cup, and Guardiola is chasing a domestic treble. And he's never lost a Premier League title race when City are still in it at this stage of the season. Never. Not once. And here's a specific number that makes it all feel even more uncomfortable. £105 million. That is what Arsenal paid for Declan Rice in the summer of 2023, the most expensive signing in the club's history. The transfer that said, "This is our year, we're serious, and we're coming." Since that signing, Arsenal have finished second, second, second. Add Kai Havertz for 62 million. Jurriën Timber for 38 million. A wage bill that has risen over 40% in 2 years. And 3 consecutive runner-up finishes. Arsenal fans will tell you that the project is building, that this is their year, and that the process is finally delivering. They said that in 2023, and 2024, and 2025. At some point, and nobody in North London wants to say this out loud, you have to ask whether this manager, this squad, this system can actually close a title race out. Not almost, not 89 points, win it. Because £105 million midfielders and a wage bill rising 40% demand more than 3 consecutive second-place finishes. The summer transfer window opens regardless of whether Arsenal win the title or not, but the budget available and the players who want to come will be completely different depending on what happens in the next 4 weeks. Win the title in the Champions League, Arsenal become a different club commercially overnight. Finish second again, the questions get louder, the deals get harder, and Arteta's future, for the first time, starts to become a genuine conversation. So, are Arsenal going to bottle the title again? They're 3 points clear, 4 games left, but City have 5, including that game in hand against Crystal Palace, which is still yet to be scheduled. On Tuesday, Atletico Madrid away in the Champions League, one of the best defensive teams in the world, in front of 68,000 at the Wanda Metropolitano. And while Arsenal are in Madrid, City will rest. They'll recover and they'll wait. Arsenal fans will point to the 3 point lead in Eze's goal yesterday and say, this is our year. This is different. This time we hold on. Maybe they're right. Maybe this year the process delivers. Maybe Arteta finally closes it out. Or maybe, in 4 weeks' time, Arsenal fans will be back exactly where they always end up, watching another team lift the trophy, trusting the process, but waiting for the next season. The financial cost of that outcome runs into tens of millions. Lost commercial deals, stalled revenue, and a transfer budget that stays just short of really where it needs to be. 22 years without a title. 9 points became 0. Now it's 3 again, and City have a game in hand. The grass might be fine. The ball might fly perfectly. There are no more excuses left. If this gave you a new perspective on what is really at stake, give it a like. It helps more people find the channel. Subscribe to Sports Cash Files. Every week we cover the money behind the sport. And drop it in the comments. Is this finally Arsenal's year? Or is the process just another word for second place? See you in the next episode.